September 6, 1899 in Daniels Harbour. I spent all my 90 years on Northern Peninsula. I started out, we say, playing fiddle. I started learning when I was 11 years old, but around 14 years old, that's when I went out playing for dances. I used to go from one little settlement to the other. Whenever they wanted me a night to play somewhere, well, I went and played for them. So I was doing that all my lifetime. Then till around 1972, I started on this racket, traveling around. I was married twice, and I had 2 families, 12 children in the 2 families. So it was from one thing to the other, whatever you could get at to make a dollar for to keep your family going.
He has been in the forefront of the revival of the art of traditional fiddling, ensuring, through the teaching of a new generation of fiddlers, his recording of the old tunes, and his appearances in Canada and abroad, that traditional Newfoundland fiddle playing will survive. Mr. Guinchard.
We were looking for our own definition of what it meant to be a Newfoundlander. And there was no instrumental music that you could look to and call it Newfoundland music. So then when Rufus came into town that time and gave that concert at the Arts and Culture Centre, I believe it was, well, people just, they really loved it. They jumped to their feet, you know. I think he played 2 or 3 jigs and people just gave him standing ovations. And he was such an endearing person on the stage, you know, Rufus. He was having such fun playing, you know, for people, and people were responding so well. And the more they'd respond, the more Rufus would play, and everybody had such a wonderful night. It was just incredible.
Leonard Payne was playing for the dance that night. So I spent most of my time stood up by the petition watching him play. And I thought to myself, well, wouldn't I love to be able to play the fiddle, you know? That's just the mind I had. So anyway, when we were going home that night, I said, Mom, I'm taking that old fiddle in, and I'm going to get Pop to fix her up for me, and I'm going to learn to play. You're not going to take that, she said. I said, I is then. I'm going to take it in, I'm going to try to learn to play the fiddle. First when I started, I didn't want nobody to catch me learning, you know, because I was making some queer sounds, you know, and the whole fiddle and the rig out, I had the tread bow and everything. It was all squeaky and scrouchy everywhere. So I used to sit on the table, my feet on the chair, and look through the window and make sure no one didn't come to catch me. Because if someone was coming to catch me, I'd see him, see, and then I'd run and put the fiddle up. They'd never know I was at the fiddle, see. No, it never come to me to get over there because I know it seemed like it was on Andy for me. You know, over there I'd reach over with my fingers, but over this way it was right clear for me to use my fingers, see. Everything was right clear. And I was not holding much wood in my fiddle, see. I thought there was feel to me like there's a clearer sound coming from my fiddle, you know. I found it easier, better. When I get over there, there's a lot more noise and scrounchier, you know, with the whole Frankum on me bow, it was really sticky like. I go around to the dance and listen to the old fellows playing the fiddle. I go up to Uncle John Peter Payne's to sit down getting to play for me in his kitchen, you know. He'd play away for me. Till I learned a lot of his tunes, see, like that.
When he plays for people to dance, and you can see people watching what he's doing. You can see him. He forms the chords in a different way than, say, like a classically trained violinist would do. And he didn't go through the Suzuki program or anything like that. You know, he learned to play himself. He put like cotton strings, thread, on his fiddle when he was a little fella, and he learned, and he got the sound that he wanted to hear, and he watched the dancers, and he got the rhythms that he wanted to get. So he interprets what he remembers, the tunes that he remembers, according to how he sees people dancing on the floor.
Rufus, come and show us how to do you know the one where you take a woman on either side and back. So what do you do? Here, Susan, what do you do?
Probably like five nights a week anyway there would be a dance. People had mostly big kitchens them days, like they were always prepared for to do that, see, for to have dances in. There were nowhere else to dance, so people had to have them in their kitchens. Some fellas would go around and get the dance. Well, then they'd come back and tell us, yes, they had the house first to dance in. Well, then some fellas take off and ask all the girls. You had to go and ask the girls, see where their parents were satisfied for them to go. But they were most always satisfied, and we would always get girls enough turned up to have the dance. If I lived to be another 100, I'll never forget the way the square dance go. Which I'm not going to live, I guess, another 100.
All right. And then you guys swing. That's the one, and then we swing.
Then you swing.
And then... Let's get it going. Come on, let's do it. I'm out.
We got that one.
That's it. That was what I was trying to show. See, I taught you rushing upstairs.
So that night when I was playing for the dance, before I was finished with the dance, some person goes along, turns on the jukebox right in the middle of me playing. I just picked up my fiddle and walked out of it, and I never went back playing there afterwards. I didn't give it up still. I keep on just play a hard time here and there, and I pick out my fiddle every now and then and have a little play with myself, you know, when I get home alone. Never bother with anyone else there, but I just want to keep it, didn't want to forget it. I want to still keep it going.
And so the music in that form had to die out as soon as the whole thing broke open. And you could hear whatever you wanted to hear by turning on the switch or going down the road to the club or whatever, you know. So that it lost its frequency of performance, let's say, but it still was there, and people are still playing and singing. It's great that you can play your own music, that you don't have to be always playing American stuff or Canadian stuff or French stuff or something. You can play something that you say, well, I got that from here. This belongs here. You know, the particular combination of geography and culture and weather and everything else that produces Newfoundlanders and the spirit that's in Newfoundlanders, it belongs to this place, and it's reflected in the music.
Hal Pittman and Wilf Wareham come to Oxbury where I lived and asked me, would I mind going in St. John's, playing a few classrooms in university. So I told him yes. Well, that was 1972, that was. That's the first trip I made out for doing this kind of work. So anyway, I got in there, and Joe Byrne, Pat Byrne, and Clyde Rose were playing a concert in the Art and Culture Centre, and Pat happened to be sick, and he couldn't go there, so they phoned up and they told Wilf to ask me would I go down and play a few jigs with him. So I told him yes, I'd go. So he took me down there, and the first tune I played, well, I got a standing ovation. The next one I played, I got a standing ovation. So I played the third one. I got 3 standing ovations there that night then. So that's how I come to get out into it. I went with Clyde Rose and them, then the Breakwater Boys they were called then. And that's how I got out at it. So I played in 6 classrooms in university for Wilf Wareham. So then I went back home, and next thing, about a week afterwards, I gets a call to go to Vancouver with Clyde Rose and them. So that was my first trip across Canada over to Vancouver. Well, I thought there had to be something to it, you know. I thought the people might want to be getting into the music, because it seemed like they were all interested in the classroom where I played, you know.
Rufus then became the focus for this group of young people who were interested in taking something Newfoundland and bringing it out. I think the young musician that he influenced the most was Kelly Russell. He learned all the tunes he could find from Rufus.
Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Aunt Kate's sick in bed and Uncle Manuel milks the cow.
Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Aunt Kate's sick in bed and Uncle Manuel milks the cow.
Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Aunt Kate's sick in bed and Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Uncle Manuel milks the cow. Aunt Kate's sick in bed and Uncle Manuel milks the cow.
Show me how you do it.
I meet Jim Payne now is about, well, I guess since I meet him it was around 11 years, but we've been playing together for 9 years. Yes, he's a very, very good step dancer, you know. And he's a kind of a hard to get, something like myself. Well, it was hard, boy, but there it was, you had to get through with him. And you had to work at things you didn't like to sometimes. You had to make your living. No one wouldn't give it to you.
And how long were you and Prue married then before she died?
We were married 26 years, I think.
26 years. And then she died?
Then she died, yeah.
In childbirth?
Childbirth.
And the youngster died too?
Oh, yes, the youngster died too, yeah.
Well, it must have been even, I suppose that was even harder then. You had 7 youngsters then to
Well,
look after?
some of them was gone, you know. A couple of them was gone. And, oh yes, there were more than that. There was four of them gone then. I had 2 boys and a girl. Well, my brother took one of them and reared her, the youngest one. In Deer, they lived in Deer Lake. They took that one and reared her up. And of course, the other 2 went with their sisters, you know.
So the family was basically separated then?
Oh yeah, basically separated.
And never really got back together
No,
after that?
never got back together afterwards. No.
What did you think of that now? I mean, once Prue died, I mean, that'd be enough to sort of make somebody give up altogether, isn't it?
Well, yes, boy, but there it was. That's the way I took it. I couldn't give up. I had to work after she was dead a year. That's when I went to Port Sanders and built this house for that man. He phoned up, send up and asked me would I come down and build a house for him. So that's what I done. I went there and built a house for him. There was plenty of carpenter work to do in Port Sanders at the time, and I still stayed there. I never went back down there ever afterwards to live.
That's where you met Carrie, was it?
That's where I meet Carrie down in Port Sanders, yes.
So when did you and Carrie get married?
Well, we got married 3 years after my first woman died. We got married on 12th of July. I was 49.
In the lobster season?
In the lobster season. Yes, I was lobster fishing at the time, too.
Done.
We're done. Before it begun, it was done. When it was half done, it was done. And when it was done, it wasn't done.
What is it?
Now tell me. That's a riddle.
Say it again.
Before it begun, it was done.
Before it begun was done.
And when it was half done, it was done.
When it was half done was done.
And when it was done, it wasn't done.
When it was done, it wasn't done.
Well, the girl and the fella got married. The girl's name was Dawn.
Yeah, I figured something
Before it
like that.
begun, it was done, and when it was half done, it was done. And when it was done, it wasn't done. She was
Goddamn
not-
fool. Look. You're bullies, my son.
You got me so much
I figured it was something to do with the name or something.
but the other one, the wind was west, and west sailed we. But all sheets drawn, and how could that be?
Wind was west and west sailed we.
With all sheets drawn, full of wind, and how could that be? The wind was west, and west sailed we. See?
The captain's name was West.
Yeah. You hear, I told
Yeah,
you.
you should not be on me, Mark.
No, he